There has only been 3 players in NBA history to win 3 consecutive MVP awards. We have Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, and Larry Legend. We could be adding a new name to that list in the 2022-2023 NBA season, and that name is Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic is playing amazing this season, but will voters' fatigue stop him from being mentioned in that same category as those 3 greats? Let's find out what Rusty Buckets has to say in this video. Should Nikola Jokic win his 3rd MVP in a row? Let's jump into it.
Nikola Jokic, following his back-to-back MVP season, somehow manages to be even more impressive than he's already shown himself to be. He is now averaging basically a triple-double on unbelievable efficiency, and the Denver Nuggets are the 1st seed in the Western Conference. Right now, the possibility of Nikola Jokic winning 3 MVPs in a row seems really possible, and this is something that has not happened since Larry Bird did it himself in the 80s. So let's talk about Nikola Jokic's MVP case and the historic season that he...
Hey, that's kind of crazy that the last time it happened was in the 80s, because we've had so many, like, obviously we've had so many great players since then. Michael Jordan, him not winning it 3 times in a row. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. LeBron James could have won it 3 times in a row if Derrick Rose didn't win in 2011. Actually, LeBron could have won it 5 times in a row if Derrick Rose didn't win in 2011. But we've had so many great players, and voters fatigue is a thing. That's what happens. You know, people, they don't really necessarily ever give 3 MVPs in a row. But honestly, I feel like this year is going to change.
He is having. Before we get into today's video, I want to talk about our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is all of you have no pick. The thing you is that you will prize simple comparison to what he is doing this season. If you look at Nikola Jokic's 2 MVP seasons, he averaged about 27 points, 12 rebounds, 8 assists, and about 1.2 stocks. And he did this with a 65% true shooting percentage. Now this year, Jokic is averaging 25 points and 11 rebounds, along with 9.9 assists.
Honestly, shooting wise, this is his best shooting year, with a true shooting of 70%. Defensively, it's not, it's kind of on par, but just like overall raw stats, like his scoring has taken a dip down, his rebounds have taken a dip down. And the only thing that's really gone up is his assist, which is crazy that he's averaging more assists this year than last year since Jamal Murray wasn't on the court. But I feel like that just shows how much of a primary playmaker he is on the team, that they have a playmaker in Jamal Murray, but they still would much rather go to Nikola Jokic to be that playmaker for that team.
Assists, which is a career high. He is 0.1 assist away from averaging a 25-point triple-double, 2 stocks, and he has an unbelievable 70% true shooting percentage.
That's crazy.
For those of you who may not be aware, the average true shooting percentage in the league is
50
somewhere around 57%.
Yes, 50, yeah, 57. Wow.
In that ballpark. So Nikola Jokic, as someone who is looked at as basically the offensive hub of his team, and someone who's going to score 25 points a night, managing to put up those points while also shooting 13% better than league average is insane. What's even more insane is if you take a look at his 2-point percentage this year, because inside the 3-point arc, he is shooting 67% from the field. And given that only 2.3 of his shots are from inside the 3-point line, aka behind the 3-point line, that means that Nikola Jokic is damn near shooting 70% on anything that's just not a 3. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
That's
nuts. Absolutely ridiculous. The level of efficiency in which Nikola Jokic is playing is off of the charts, and I would personally argue,
I think this is what he's going to say, but I want to say it before he says it so it can be my idea, it can be my thought. What I feel like he's about to say, which I honestly believe in, is Nikola Jokic is making a case to be known as the best offensive center in the league. And when I say offense, I mean all around. Like Shaq, okay, he's the most dominant. Kareem, you know, he's the most efficient, he can score, blah, blah, blah. But Nikola Jokic, he is the only big that I've seen. I haven't seen any other big do this. Be able to go out there and be a 3-level scorer. He can get you inside the paint. He can get you in the mid range, and when he can knock down those shots. Now, I'm not going to say he's a dead eye from three, but he can knock down some threes. So I've never seen a center be able to be a 3-level threat on the offensive end while still maintaining the ability to play make the way he does. And his playmaking is just, some people mistake being a good passer and a good playmaker, like with Russell Westbrook. I don't feel like Russell Westbrook is a good playmaker. You know, he's inefficient overall on the offense, and he turns the ball over a lot. But with Nikola Jokic, when he's playing, he's more efficient. He controls the offense more overall than just running the pick and roll and then dropping the ball off. You can see him in the post directing people where to go. He can make that across, like the no look across the shoulder pass. That is a crazy pass to make, and he does it so often. It's kind of like LeBron James. LeBron James is a great playmaker. He controls the court. He tells people where to go. He tells people where to move because he knows what's going to happen. If he's at the top of the key, he'll tell somebody to cut, and then when they cut, he'll drop it off to him. That's the same thing that Nikola Jokic does, but he does it at the center position. He does it as a 7-foot big. Like the only person that I can compare to would be like Joakim Noah when he was in that running, like when he was top 5 for MVP in like 2012. Joakim Noah, he'd stand up at the top of the key, direct the offense, make those really, really great passes. And you know, he would be the one controlling the offense. It wouldn't be the guard on the team controlling the offense. It'll be Joakim Noah controlling the offense. And I feel like that's the same thing that's going on right now. Jamal Murray, the point guard, is not controlling the offense. Nikola Jokic, the center, is.
That 25, 11, and 10 is better than the 27, 12, and
he wasn't about to say. Look. He wasn't about to say what I said, but okay.
That he was,
but yeah, that's facts.
You know, still
it's a better season.
Worse. And another thing that adds to his MVP case, and I would argue adds far more significantly than the numbers do, even if that's what I started with. The main argument you would make is if Nikola Jokic was MVP the last 2 years, while his team was not a top 3 seed in the conference,
they're winning now.
How do you deny him winning MVP when his team is the 1st seed in the Western Conference? Because the argument that the crowd of people that hates Nikola Jokic, which is more large than I think it has any right to be, but whatever, that particular group of people, their argument was always his team's not winning enough. His team doesn't have a good enough record. They didn't even win 50 wins. How does he win MVP, you know? But at the same time, you can't make that argument now, so what's left?
Nothing.
Can't really say his stats.
Nothing.
The weird argument they made in the past was that he was just like an advanced stats guy, which is ludicrous because I just said a second ago that in his MVP years, he was averaging 27, 12, and 8 on 65% true shooting. So that's filling the box score and it's doing it efficiently. But even if you wanted to make that argument, then you sure as hell are not going to contend with a 25-point triple-double. So then you just have to look at, if Jokic's case is as strong as it is, the only way that he doesn't win MVP is really 2 factors. One, there is a legitimate case that's better than his, and that's not out of the realm of possibility. The MVP
Luka
race is definitely still very much up for grabs. But the other one is voter fatigue, and that's kind of what I've been saying about this entire ordeal, the idea of Jokic winning 3 MVPs from the very beginning. Because while me personally, I don't think that, I don't think Jokic shouldn't win MVP because he won it over the last 2 years. I also understand that the way that fans work, the way that media works, there is such thing as voter fatigue. It's the same reason that Karl Malone has 2 MVPs when he should have 0 because he should have never been in the league. But the one in 99 is the only one that he should have had. 1998 should have gone to Michael Jordan, but voter fatigue is what it is. And the reason especially that people seem to want to deny Jokic this MVP is because winning 3 MVPs in a row has only been done by 3 players previous to Jokic, if he does indeed do it. The 3 players to receive this achievement were Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell in the 60s, and Larry Bird did it in the 80s. Since then, though, No one has done it. Any player that won back-to-back MVPs would be denied a third one, even, like as I previously mentioned, in years where it was potentially worthy of consideration, like Michael Jordan in 1998. So I do understand that voter fatigue is kind of just an inherent part of the nature of how these awards go, and that's part of the reason that a lot of people don't see that much value in the MVP award for a player's legacy. Another point that I could see that some people believe, even though I strongly disagree, is I know there's a very strong subsection of NBA fans that think that Nikola Jokic is fairly overrated. They're the same crowd of people that
Now, honestly, if you think Nikola Jokic, it's a video. I feel like Legend of Winning, he did a video a while back, but he was talking in regards to Giannis, where it just seems like the league and the fans, they're xenophobic. They were saying things like Giannis can't be an MVP, he can't be the face of the NBA, and Jokic can't be MVP, they can't be the face of the NBA because they don't talk like or look like the guys that are from, basically they're saying they don't talk or look like the guys that are from America. That's basically the whole gist of his video. They're basically saying they're foreign, so they can't be the face of the NBA. And I feel like it's an agenda that's continuously trying to be pushed, and whether it's by the media or whether it's by certain fan bases, it's going to get pushed because the coverage that Jokic is getting, he should be getting way more coverage. The coverage that Giannis was getting at the time, he should have been getting way more coverage. I don't want to turn on, then this is really one of the reasons why I stopped watching ESPN. I stopped watching First Take. I don't want to turn it on and hear about LeBron James, who's on a losing Lakers team. I don't want to hear about Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless talking about him for the third time in a week. I don't want to hear Stephen A. Smith talking about LeBron James for the third time in a week, or Steph Curry, or they don't even really talk about players like Jason Tatum and Devin Booker, and like so many people go under the radar. They have their hand-picked players like Zion, where they're like, okay, we want this player to be the face of the NBA because he can jump out of the roof. He's a highlight reel. They want the face of the NBA to be highlight reels to make the NBA a little more interesting. So that's why when you see Zion come in, all the coverage is about Zion. You see players like John Morant getting covered more than he probably should be. I'm not saying John Morant is the bad player or he's overrated. I'm just saying his coverage is a bit more than probably what it should be. But then you have the really good players like Joel Embiid. He's not getting coverage like he should. Nikola Jokic, obviously not getting coverage. Giannis, not really getting coverage like he should. And it's just like, it's clear as day what they're doing. It's xenophobia. Is that how you say it? Xenophobia? I'm gonna say it. It's xenophobia, and like they're not even hiding it at this point. It's crazy. It's crazy. But if you want to go watch the rest of Rusty Bucket's video, I guess I'll leave a link. I never leave a link because if you're on this video, you've probably already seen his video. But go over to his channel or watch the rest of the video. Yeah, if Jokic doesn't get the MVP this season and it goes to somebody like Jason Tatum or John Morant or something like that, it's going to be a bad look for the NBA. Hope y'all did enjoy. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Peace out.